Hello, and welcome to the Grumpy Gobbler channel. My name is Noah, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I mounted my MaxTrax onto my Gobi rack that's installed on my 5th gen 4Runner. And there's probably many other ways to do it, but this is how I chose to do it, and so it's probably the right way. Just kidding. Thanks for coming along. Okay, this is my MaxTrax installed onto my sunroof insert that's on my Gobi rack. And I did have these installed where that one case is, but I've moved them to the sunroof insert, and it makes it a lot easier to put on. So if you're putting MaxTrax onto a Gobi rack and you have a sunroof insert, this is going to make your life very, very easy. And I'll kind of explain that in just a bit here. Let me remove the MaxTrax and I'll show you the mounts. And for the mounts, I'll find them again and I'll put a link down in the description. Okay, here are the mounts. Let me try to get into a spot where it's going to be easier for you to see. This is obviously my sunroof insert for my Gobi rack, and these are the mounts I used. I can't remember where I got them, but I will put a link in the description as I indicated before. And the benefit of these is it lifts up the MaxTrax. So when this sunroof insert is installed in the Gobi rack, the MaxTrax are high enough to clear the sidebars for the rack itself. And so these work really well. Also, you can see the nice slots here, and you'll see when I flip this over, because of the grating here, or whatever, mesh, whatever this is called, gives you a lot of options where to put screws. You can see where I have the screws here, which looks somewhat normal, but here I had to move them around because of where the holes were on the mesh. And so let me flip this over. And you can see I use big washers for underneath to grab onto the mesh. So I have a thicker washer and then a really wide washer. And on the other side, because of where this hole lined up, I had to butt it pretty close to this bar, and so I couldn't use a big washer, but that's on there, and a big washer right there. And you can do this, and I had this mounted this way when I had it mounted on the main portion of the rack, and it worked just fine. The struggle is trying to get your hands underneath the rack to hold these in place when you're mounting this. I was able to do it, but it took a lot of wrestling. So if you do have a sunroof insert, this is going to make your life a lot easier, being able to take the sunroof insert off, put it on here, and mount the MaxTrax. So to mount these, let me flip this back over once again. What I did is I have 2 pairs of MaxTrax. So when I went to bolt these mounts in, I put one set on here to get the spacing just right, set it on top of the rack, kind of centered it, and that told me where I needed to put these and bolt these in. And so I bolted them in with the MaxTrax mounted, and I was done. It was really simple. And let me go ahead and put this back on the vehicle, and then I'll show you the MaxTrax in place. Okay, I'm going to try to show putting the MaxTrax onto the mounts. This should be interesting. I'm going to try to set the camera, and hopefully you'll be able to see. Okay, that's installed. It's really easier than it probably looked. Now I just lock them in place. Go to the other side. I'm on a ladder right now, but you can do this from sitting on the door sill. So now I go to the other side, lock them in place, and you can see I was talking about the height of those mounts, and you can see the clearance underneath the bar, this bar right here. And that's why you need a tall mount to lift them up and let them hang over. They're almost perfectly sized in this way, but if you were going underneath this bar, they'd have to be shorter. So there you go. That's the MaxTrax installed on my Gobi rack on my 5th gen boar runner. Peace of bye.